but they were running a little bit behind. But because we have 30 days only, once a plat is submitted to get approval from planning and zoning, we have to bring it to you for that approval, or else it becomes automatically approved and it just moves on to city council without a vote here. So typically in a situation like this, where we have not received a utility review or an engineer review, you can make your recommendation for approval subject to getting that approval from that engineer. So all utilities have approved, city staff recommends approval. This takes that property out of the house property. Their plan is to donate that to a trust or to put that in a trust so that it can't be developed any further. The only request that I made of them, which they were willing to do, if you flip 2 more pages to page 11, you see that this revision under lot A1 shows no further development permitted. So that just prevents that property from being further developed. It can't be developed beyond what it is right now. We had discussions that if they wanted to change if they wanted to change the chapel in a situation like adding electricity or adding AC, which they don't have any intention of doing, but development like that would be appropriate. Remodeling, those kind of development permits would be appropriate, but no additional units, nothing additional to be built on that property. So city staff recommends approval. Utilities have all recommended approval.
And Nicole, just to make sure that everybody knows, it's that note about, no additional development, which is the reason why we're not requiring them to delineate the building lines on that
Sure.
side of the lot.
Yeah, and so building lines on a plat aren't necessarily a requirement. Anytime you have a plat that does not have building lines on it, that doesn't mean that you can build out all the way to those property lines. All that means is that city standards apply. So if a lot came to me with no building lines at all, just property lines, we have the 20-foot, the 5-foot, and the 10-foot established for those.
Any questions or discussion?
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion from Felicia
I second that motion.
and a second from Stephen Wilson.
Brenda Owens,
Yes.
Richard Kay,
Yes.
Eric Hickey,
Yes.
Stephen Wilson,
Yes.
Felicia Foster,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay. Item 4.4, discuss and take appropriate action, confirm that beachfront dune protection permit plan 25-35 is consistent with the city's coastal management plan. The applicant to establish that no dunes exist on the construction site and that no dune permit is required for construction of improvements. Applicant Greg Knoop, property location 225 Dolphin Lane.
Is this it? Oh,
Oh, no, that was the.
that's what I thought.
Just it. This isn't in the front, in the back. So this is, another permit for Dolphin Lane. We've seen several of these this year already. So the Port Aransas Coastal Management Plan requires that anything that is built within, or any construction activity within 1,000 feet of mean high tide is required to have a permit. That is whether it's impacting critical dunes or whether it's not impacting critical dunes. This is actually a higher standard than the Texas Natural Resource Code, which only requires a permit if critical dunes are impacted. So this is a higher standard than the GLO has for themselves, which is why we see these, but they're a lot easier to kind of handle than anything that's impacting critical dunes. All of these lots on Dolphin Lane have, 90% of these lots on Dolphin Lane have been flattened and maintained for decades. So there's obviously no critical dunes on any of these lots, but unfortunately we have to make these people go through the process because we have those higher standards set. So this is a pretty straightforward no dune permit. There's good information in there that shows you that there's no critical dunes on the property.
Yeah, in this case, there's even there's a pool in between the critical dune
Absolutely.
and where the deck's gonna go. Okay.
Correct. So this is more of a, process situation than it is really a necessity, in my opinion. Just so you guys know, in the future, we probably will update the coastal management plan. There's some other things that we have to update in there. The coastal management plan covers a number of things, not just dune permits. We're gonna when we update those things, then we will probably request that this requirement be taken out so that we don't have to put the people through this process anymore.
Okay,
Nice.
That'd be
yeah,
good.
that'll be good.
The city staff recommends approval. We don't require no June permits to go to a city engineer unless staff requests it in a situation where it's very, where it could be problematic. We really want another good set of eyes in the situation like Palmia with their expansion in Cinnamon Shore South. They applied for some no June permits, but they were on such a large scale that staff didn't feel comfortable doing it. And so we did send those for engineer review in those situations. They came back as no June permits from the city engineer as well. They were approved that way, but we just wanted that extra set of eyes in these kind of situations. We don't think that that cost is necessary.
Pretty obvious, yeah.
Yeah.
Any
So
que-
The only
questions?
question I have is, that I posed earlier, does the dune permit come in prior to the permit, or does it come in along with the construction permit?
So it really depends on the knowledge of the property owner.
Okay,
In some situations, these property owners are aware of this situation and they know that they need a dune permit prior to construction. A lot of times they don't, and so they come in to apply for a dune permit and we say, hey, you need, apply for a construction permit, and we say, hey, you need a dune permit. And in some situations, they, come in to talk about their remodel and then we just explain the situation to them.
so it's both.
So it's both.
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion? Can I invite a motion?
I make a motion to approve Plan 25-35.
We have a motion from Stephen Wilson,
Well, second.
second from Richard Kay.
Okay, Felicia Foster,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Abstain.
Richard Kay,
Yes.
Stephen Wilson,
Yes.
Brenda Owens,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
motion carried.
All kinds of pictures.
Item 4.5, discuss and take appropriate action, to confirm that beachfront dune protection permit plan 25-38 is consistent with the city's coastal management plan. The applicant to establish that no dunes exist on the construction site and that no dune permit is required for construction of improvements. Applicant Paul Riddell, property location 231 Dolphin Lane.
This is very similar situation with their property basically next door. Same kind of situation, same thing applies. This is gonna be a no dune permit under our coastal management plan, higher standard than the GLO. And there are no critical dunes on the property, but the property owner is seeking a construction permit for rezoning. The staff recommends approval, no engineer review was required. There's some good pictures towards the end of that.
So this work to be done is actually in the front yard. Which makes it even
More straightforward.
more straightforward.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more difficult when I have to tell people,
Yeah,
We'll go through this
you have to
extra
go
hoop.
through
Yeah.
this really long process to get a no dune permit
Yeah.
before we can let you expand.
Okay. All right,
given that it's in the front yard, unless there's any questions or discussion, I make a motion to approve.
And I'll second that.
okay, we got a motion from Richard Kay and a second from Stephen Wilson.
Foster,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Abstain.
Richard Kay,
Yes.
Brenda Owens,
Yes.
Stephen Wilson,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, plan,
And that's
item
the-
5, Planning and Zoning Commission comments and items for future consideration.
Our next meeting
The holidays coming up.
is
Do we have anything on agenda yet?
currently no, so it could be a meeting that ends up getting
Answers.
told, but just in case it's not, I assume that none of us want to meet on Christmas Day.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. no.
And I assume even further that none of us want to meet on New Year's Day.
Correct.
So I'm proposing that if we need a meeting, we schedule it for maybe that next week, that first full week of January. Doesn't have to necessarily be on a Thursday, it can be any day that you guys determine is a good time.
And I know I'll be gone first week of January.
First week of January sounds fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
When did the kids go back to school?
I believe they go on the 7th.
They do.
Yeah.
It's been its
I told him I'm not gonna be here. He goes, I think that we could be fine.
Didn't mean it like
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
That came out really quick.
We don't wanna push it
You know.
back is because if somebody submits something, plat wise, we are under a state regulated guideline that we have to get that to a meeting within 30
Yeah,
days.
yeah. I'm just thinking.
So, I mean, we can also kind of just play this by ear.
Mm.
And I can, if nothing's sent to us that first week of December, we can just call it. Or if something is sent to us that first week of December, it might work out timing wise to even have it after the second week in January.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we can just play it by ear.
So we're not gonna do it December.
We are not going to do it December 25th.
Okay.
No, and every year we have to change these last two meetings of the year because of the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that later meeting is to be determined.
All right.
That's all we do.
And where will we meet?
So this meeting room, they tell us is gonna be good, maybe through April.
Oh, okay. Because for some reason I thought city council was moving.
City council had on their discussion this Tuesday, different locations because I think by law they're required to make that determination in a public forum beforehand, so they have gotten permission from the school board to use the
Right.
admin building for there or municipal court. Once it opens, we'll have the facilities that kind of have those meetings. Right now, because we're hesitant on dates, for the police department opening, that's why they moved those two locations. They didn't determine what meetings, but we know we're good for December and January and likely February in here. March and April become the questions. So for a while, we're good. And then what we will do is just follow wherever they have their meetings. We'll have our meetings as well.
What is the date on this? Do they have an idea?
The date for
When it's supposed to be
completion,
finished? Just a target date.
so many dates for so many buildings in my head. I think that towards the end of 2026 is kind of the maybe early 2027. I can tell you that these guys are amazing.
Isn't the Civic Center supposed to be completed first, though?
It is. So the Civic Center should be available for Whooping Crane
That's
Festival
right,
in
yeah.
some small capacity.
Oh.
Or some big capacity. These
That's
guys-
gonna be really quick.
Yes.
We're
But
like
that,
3 months out.
but this room won't be,
Yeah.
finished. It's just that main portion of it, but they are moving quickly. This is the same company that's doing the school, auditorium. So I
Okay.
suspect that's very close to completion. Once that's completed, this will even go faster.
Hmm.
But it's a big difference between having to pick the lowest bidder and not having to pick the lowest.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
FEMA work versus paid work.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? If not, we'll adjourn the meeting. Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on
November 20th.
November the 20th at 3:15 PM.
Love it.
Wow.
Perfect.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't. set
Go
the
get
record.
kids now.